We have a lot of questions about the CARES Act, and so module number 14 is devoted to student loans and the provisions in the CARES Act. Let's take a look at those. The Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, known as the CARES Act, was enacted in the spring of 2020 to help borrowers impacted during the coronavirus pandemic. The period of time covered by the CARES Act has been extended several times. It is in effect from March 13, 2020 through September 30, 2021, based on President Biden signing an executive order extending the CARES Act through September 30 of this year. There are multiple provisions of interest to borrowers, and let's take a look at those. Let's look at three provisions in the CARES Act. Number one, a zero interest rate on all federal direct loans, including any direct loans you had in college and perhaps a post-bac program. That means no interest accrual during the period of time covered by the CARES Act. So whatever your balance was on your direct loans March 13 of 2020, it will be exactly the same balance on September 30, 2021. Pretty remarkable. Number two, payments are suspended for borrowers who are already in repayment regardless of their repayment plan. And number three, for borrowers who were in repayment and were using an income-driven repayment plan to try and qualify for the public service loan forgiveness, the period of suspended payments counts toward their eligibility for PSLF, assuming they're working full-time for an eligible PSLF employer. So those are the three provisions in the CARES Act. Pay special attention to the first one. Once again, no interest accrual on your federal direct loans during the period of time covered by the CARES Act. Now, very important, the CARES Act should not impact your 6-month grace period on direct unsubsidized loans and the 6-month post-enrollment deferment on Grad Plus. The interest rate will be zero on these loans all the way through September 30 of 2021, but that does not change the due date. You will still have a 6-month grace period on your direct unsubsidized loans. They should be coming due 6 months after you graduate. Same thing with your direct plus loans, your Grad Plus loans. They still have a 6-month post-enrollment deferment. Those should be coming due 6 months after you graduate. So once again, the CARES Act does not impact the repayment date of those loans, but the interest rate on those loans is zero through September 30 of 2021. Now look at the second bullet. The CARES Act will impact loans you had where you have already used up the grace period. Think about this. As hopefully you know from a previous module, once you've used your grace period up, you don't get it again. So if you had a direct unsubsidized loan or perhaps a subsidized loan in college, and you took a gap year and you used up that grace period, that loan is technically in an in-school deferment, but when you graduate, you've used the grace period up, that loan would normally come due immediately, but thanks to the CARES Act, it will not come due until around October 1st of this year. Now think about that. If those loans are coming due around October 1, and you have direct unsub and direct plus coming due around November or December, you'll need to work with your loan servicer to align the repayment start date of all those loans so that they all come due at the same time. Watch our homepage for updates about the CARES Act and the impact on repayment start dates. We hope the information in this short repayment module on the CARES Act will answer some of the questions you may have about the impact of the CARES Act on your student loan portfolio and repayment. We will post as much information as we can on our homepage, PGPresents.com. We already have a comprehensive statement there on the CARES Act, and we would encourage you to check it for updates. This is the end of module number 14.